you hear the sound of the baby crying, don't help it, run for your life. That is bush baby, and if you try to help it, you will be eaten. Bush baby is a monster, but it was once a baby, the baby of a boarding school girl. This is the origin of bush baby. Whenever news broke that a girl had been used for money ritual, it was always a girl from Federal Girls College. Whenever politicians needed girls, it was always girls from Federal Girls College. Those boarding school girls were notorious. Well, not all the girls in Federal Girls College were bad girls. Alice was different. Alice was a good girl. She never joined other girls to jump the school fence. While others sneaked out at night, Alice stayed behind, reading her books. This alone made many girls angry. They felt she was too proud and acting too righteous, like Ovasabi. Well, Alice was the pride of the school. She was an orphan who was in the school on scholarship. After both her parents died due to an unknown illness, the principal of Federal Girls College, Mrs. Oke, took Alice in. She was extremely intelligent and the teachers loved her deeply. Whenever the school went for a quiz competition, Alice always represented Federal Girls College and she never failed them. But Alice was not completely a good girl. She had a secret. Alice had a boyfriend, the school principal's son. His name was Emmanuel. Alice was 18 years old, while Emmanuel was 20. Emmanuel was the son of the principal. He liked Alice from the day she came to their house. As school resumed and Alice left the house to the dormitory, Emmanuel seized every opportunity to see her. Emmanuel was done with secondary school and was waiting to get into the university. While waiting for his admission into the university, Emmanuel often came to Federal Girls College with his mother, the principal. Alice and Emmanuel were in love, but they kept their relationship a secret. The problem was that Alice and Emmanuel were always meeting in corners, hidden places within the school compound. While other girls needed to jump fence to meet boys, Alice did not need to. She only needed to hide in a quiet corner to see Emmanuel. So while everybody praised Alice for being a good girl, she was not entirely that good. One day, emotions were high and they did what they should not have done. They both agreed to keep it a secret. Emmanuel believed he truly loved Alice. 2 weeks after that special moment between Alice and Emmanuel, Emmanuel got admission into the university. The next day, he came to the school and arranged to meet Alice in the laundry room during prep. While they met, Emmanuel told her the good news, but it was not such a good news to Alice. She broke down and cried when she heard he was leaving. Emmanuel tried to calm her down. He told her he would always come to see her during his break and that nothing would change between them and that he loved her so much. That night, emotions took over again and they did the wrong thing once again. Soon after, Emmanuel left for the university. Alice continued her normal school life. 2 weeks after Emmanuel left, Alice began to notice strange changes in her body. She started waking up unusually late. She was always hungry and began vomiting frequently. At first, she did not think much of it until one day, Matron Agnes noticed Alice vomiting and called her aside. She asked Alice to turn around and looked at her properly. After observing her closely, the matron took Alice straight to the school clinic. After the school nurse ran some tests, the truth came out. Alice was pregnant. The matron looked at her in shock and asked, "Alice, tell me the truth. Who is responsible?" Alice kept quiet. The matron asked again, "Alice, do you want to ruin your life? Who is responsible?" Alice still refused to talk. The matron reminded Alice that she was an orphan and the only reason the principal took her in was because she was intelligent and the fact that she's pregnant now can ruin her life. Alice still refused to answer. Left with no choice, the matron took Alice to the school principal. Immediately the principal heard that Alice was pregnant. She dropped everything she was doing. She exclaimed, "Ah, if it was Mabel, I would not be surprised. If it was Goodness, I won't be surprised. But you?" The matron sat quietly as the principal questioned Alice, but Alice still refused to tell them who got her pregnant. Finally, the principal threatened to throw Alice out of the school and withdraw her scholarship. That was when Alice spoke. She said softly, "Ima." The school principal frowned. "Which Ima?" Alice replied, "Your son, Ima." The principal was shocked. She never knew Emmanuel and Alice were involved. That was when it dawned on her that the reason Emmanuel liked following her to school was because of Alice. After a long silence, the principal spoke. "Alice, you want to frame my son. I took you in after your parents passed, and this is how you pay me? You want to ruin my family's reputation? It won't happen. I will deal with this," the principal told Alice angrily. Then the principal turned to the matron and the school nurse, and she told them this pregnancy must be kept a secret. The matron was the principal's puppet, so she agreed immediately. The nurse, on the other hand, was threatened. The principal warned the nurse that if she dares reveal the secret, then the school board and everyone will know that the nurse once made a mistake and gave a student wrong medication that caused the student to pass away. Alice was quickly removed from the dormitory and taken to live in a small room far away from students' quarters. It was a lonely room kept for the principal, a place she used anytime she wanted to sleep around the school. But the principal never really used that room. It was abandoned and dirty. But that was where Alice was kept. Alice was separated from other girls, but she was still allowed to come to school. Despite all the efforts to keep the matter secret, news soon began to spread around the boarding school. One day, Mabel whispered to Goodness, "I heard Alice is pregnant." Goodness frowned. "That's not possible. Alice is a good girl now." Mabel scoffed. "So you think pretenders don't exist? Good girl, care. That girl is a pretender." Goodness became curious. "We need to confirm this," she said. So one afternoon after school, Mabel and Goodness secretly followed Alice. They watched her walk towards the bush close to the school. They were surprised. Where is she going?" They whispered to each other as they followed her quietly. Soon, they saw Alice walk into a small ugly house hidden deep inside the bush. Just as Alice was about to enter, they stopped her. "Alice, where are you going?" Alice turned around. The moment she saw them, she burst into tears. They were shocked. "Why are you crying? What happened?" they asked. Alice led them into the ugly house and told them everything. She told them how she got pregnant for the principal's son. She told them how the principal said her son could never be responsible. She told them how the principal and the matron forced her to stay in this lonely house in the bush. She also told them that once the pregnancy reached 4 months, she would no longer be allowed to attend school. And finally, she told them that the principal had plans to sell the baby once she gave birth. As Alice spoke, they started crying with her. As the 3 girls were talking and crying, the principal suddenly entered the room and shouted at them,